Hello everyone, and welcome to Autocrat. This is episode 62, Iliad Part IV, Fast and Furious with Chariots.
Ooh.
Today we're going to be doing book 9 to 12 of the Iliad. So we did say we were going to work through book 12, but I meant 10, book 9 and 10.
Nice.
I actually meant 9 and 10, but I was reading it wrongly.
Editor's note over.
We open with the despondent Greeks with the Trojans surrounding them.
Oh yeah.
Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek, is in tears at how badly it's going. I can imagine him being like, "Oh, it's going badly."
I mean, that is the sentence we just said. I'd like to think they're tears of regret of the life choices that lead him up to this point, but probably not.
He calls his army to him and bemoans how Zeus, who once helped him, is now working against him. Like freaking Zeus. He counsels that they should immediately withdraw and abandon the war. There's stony silence from the Greeks.
Oh, you can hear crickets chirping and not a single man is moving. Every now and then you hear from the back. Maybe a tumbleweed blows across the field.
Insert cricket noise.
That was a cricket and not me.
Eventually, Diomedes stands up and calls Agamemnon an idiot and a coward. Agamemnon can leave if he wants to, but Diomedes will stay and fight.
Hurrah!
This earns a roar from the Greek warriors.
Huzzah! Probably. Whatever that is in Greek.
Nestor then advises that everybody settle down and have a meal. Yeah, because everything is sold with food.
Well, you know, the Greeks are probably a little bit hangry at this point. You know, Agamemnon and Diomedes haven't eaten in a while. They're both shouting at each other. It's getting catty.
Agamemnon can then hold a council of war with his advisors. At the banquet, Nestor advises Agamemnon to make up with Achilles already. Agamemnon let the red mist descend when he insulted the warrior, and they are now paying the price for it.
I mean, yeah, it's going horribly. I mean, for his part, surprisingly it seems to me, Agamemnon accepts this advice, which is the last thing I would have expected.
Yeah, he actually vows to go and bribe Achilles to come back. I mean, is that making up with him, or is that bribing him to make up with him?
The entire of history will tell you that those are the same thing.
Sure. Now, what's the bribes, you may ask?
What's the bribe?
Don't worry, Homer has you covered.
He does? Oh, good.
He does. Achilles will be given gold, horses, copper, 7 captive women from Lesbos. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. You forgot that this is an ancient world story, didn't you? Not only that, but Briseis will be returned to him, which, I mean, although grim, is actually solving the problem Achilles is mad about in the first place. Not only this, but once Troy falls, Achilles can fill his boat with riches and get 20 women from Troy, the prettiest excepting Helen.
So he can get 27 in total?
Yes, 28. Briseis is there as well.
Oh, yes.
Don't worry, slavery solves issues according to the Iliad.
I mean, and that's not the end. Achilles can choose which one of Agamemnon's daughters he wants to marry after the war. Probably, who cares what the girl thinks?
Because you want Agamemnon as a father-in-law after you've had this massive fight with him.
Also, just as a note, Agamemnon mentions 3 daughters, including Iphianassa.
Yeah, I can only
what now?
I can only assume this refers to Iphigenia, which is a bit weird if she's already dead or taken away by Artemis, but I'm not sure.
He will also, because this is not done, be given 7 rich cities to rule.
Nice, he can send each of those captive women to one of them.
Oh boy.
Yay.
Nestor agrees to this, and they decide to send a delegation to Achilles, including Odysseus.
I mean, hey.
Irrelevant Odysseus.
Oh, the one who's bad at fighting and also terrible and also sit down.
Yes.
But then again, he has known Achilles since before the war, because he was the one who went to go get him, so I assume there's the personal factor there.
They wander up to Achilles' hut and are invited in by Achilles and Patroclus, who's also there. Patroclus is asked to go get the gen some refreshment, because so then now he's not there anymore, and we then cut to a sacrifice to the gods and another feast.
Oh, they must be so full at this point. No, we came from the hut next door. Stop offering us food.
Odysseus speaks frankly, saying that if Achilles does not fight, the army and even the fleet are lost. The Trojans are out of control, and Agamemnon is all but ready to run away. He begs Achilles to fight, saying it's what Peleus wanted for his son.
Oh, emotional manipulation.
Emotional manipulation.
Presumably, while Odysseus is digesting, that's when the red flags come in.
They lay out the exact same rewards Agamemnon has already offered, so we're not going to dwell on it.
Yeah, riches,
just
slavery, cities.
Go back a little bit if you want to hear them again.
Yeah.
Odysseus ends with the request that, even if he hates Agamemnon too much, have mercy on the other Greeks who depend on him. Achilles decides to be honest.
Oh no good sentence starts with, I'm gonna be honest here.
He hates Agamemnon, like someone would hate the entrance to Hades.
Good start. This is going well.
So, neither of these arguments are going to win Achilles over.
Okay.
He says that it's all the same, whether you're a coward or a hero in terms of how you're treated. He has risked his life time and time again in fighting, and he is being treated like anyone else.
Okay, no. First off, Achilles, you haven't fought in ages, you've been swanning about in your tent with Patroclus, and second, you're clearly going to be treated a whole lot better than the average Joe, given that you're getting loads of stuff including problematic slave implications. I feel like Achilles doesn't really have a leg to stand on here.
Anyway.
Yes.
He rails against Agamemnon, who took away any spoils he ever got. He then turns to whine about Briseis. Agamemnon is married, why can't he go to her bed rather than taking Achilles' woman?
Again, I think we covered you're married as well, my guy, or at least the Iliad seems to think so from what I remember. At the very least, you have a baby mama.
He tells Odysseus that Agamemnon has managed miracles so far without him, building a trench and wall to protect his fleet. Achilles plans to sacrifice and then leave the next day. After all, he will have a long life if he leaves the war, but otherwise he will die in it?
Yeah, I mean, that is fated, I guess.
Also, he doesn't want Agamemnon as a father-in-law. I mean, who would? However pretty the daughter is. He doesn't want his gift, and he recommends just everyone goes back to Greece, because just let's not deal. I mean, there is a big silence when he finishes speaking.
Yeah, that was actual audio footage from the meeting.
You'll have to leave that in now.
Yeah.
Another member of the embassy, called Phoenix, nice, begs him not to go.
Oh, can we imagine a bird for this entire bit?
Trying to bond with him, like probably putting a hand over his shoulder, like I'm just doing.
No, a wing. It's a bird.
Oh, sorry. Seemingly trying to bond with him, putting a wing, which I'm kind of doing over my co-host now. He recalls how Peleus made him the protector of Achilles when Achilles was just a little boy. He goes into his backstory, which we're not going to cover here, but recounts a sweet story that Achilles would never eat his food except if Phoenix was there. Phoenix would take Achilles on his knee and cut bits of his own meat from his own plate and give him sips from his own goblet. Phoenix asks him to put aside his pride and incidentally states that prayers are Zeus's daughters, which has huge world-building implications that we're not going to deal with now.
Yeah, we're closing that Pandora's box and moving on.
He would have been behind Achilles all the way had Agamemnon kept being stubborn. He should take this deal now, where it still is something Agamemnon can give him. The Greeks will love him for it.
Yeah.
Well.
Ow, all the feels.
The thing is, Achilles says he doesn't need the adoration of the Greeks. He has the backing of Zeus.
That's a fair argument.
Also, he doesn't like that Phoenix used emotion to try to get him to yield.
See? Digestion leads to red flags in Greek warriors.
In other words, he's accusing Phoenix of trying to manipulate him. Yes. Yes, he is.
Yes.
Manipulation time.
Can I make a jingle out of that?
Sure. He invites Phoenix to stay the night, and in the morning he will make up his mind whether he will leave or not. So he is thinking about it.
That's better, I guess.
He tells Patroclus to make the bed, apparently just by moving his eyebrows.
How expressive are this man's eyebrows?
probably a pointed look, and Patroclus probably knows what he means. Also, Patroclus is back!
No.
Welcome back, Patroclus!
Welcome back, Patroclus. Also, no, Achilles is a cartoon character. Like, he's got eyebrows that go somehow over his forehead.
But basically he's saying to the other, come on, go away, leave me alone.
Oh, he did the fake yawn. It's past my bedtime. And they're like, it's noon. The sun is still out. It's noon. You just had breakfast.
Ajax tries to say that Achilles is being stubborn, and Achilles retorts that his blood starts boiling when he thinks of how Agamemnon mistreated him. Also, how is he being stubborn? He says he will consider it.
Well, I mean, because he's not immediately saying yes.
Yeah, well, he's not a pushover, like... I don't know.
Like people. Yeah, that was meant to be very impressive, but we couldn't think of anything immediately. Like Paris. Like Paris.
Like Paris.
Yeah. I might edit that to make us sound smart, I might not.
Achilles will not join the war until Hector and his men come burning the grape ships. The embassy makes their way back, and Achilles and Phoenix go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he clutches Phoenix in his arm like, oh, you're such a good bird.
Either that, yeah, puts him back in his cage for the night.
Achilles sleeps with his Diomede.
Yeah, his woman, it's a little bit unclear.
Who apparently has pretty cheeks.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
Understandable.
And Patroclus also has a woman called Iphis.
Yeah. Incidentally, Iphis was captured in a siege and given to him by Achilles. Yay!
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's a lot of this.
Anyway, the embassy tell Agamemnon they failed. They haven't failed. They're just not on the right track.
Thomas Edison apparates in and says, no, you haven't failed. You've just found a way that doesn't work.
Good. The Greeks are horrified though.
Oh, they're all in the tent. Cartoon physics style, and go at the same time.
Diomedes just says, what is done is done. He'll fight when the time is right. He counsels that they go to sleep and then in the morning attack. And this is end of book 9.
Nice.
Now you will open and tell us about book 10.
Well, Agamemnon is not able to sleep due to his worries. He's got a lot going on. He's busy being a terrible person. Menelaus is also worrying, and sleep is not coming easy to him either. In the end, both men get up for a wander and meet each other at Agamemnon's ship. I really hope they happen to bump into each other. Agamemnon wants to find a way to break the, basically, siege that the Trojans are carrying out on the fleets. It's clear to him that Zeus is on the side of the Trojans, given how much carnage Hector has carried out. They summon some companions. Agamemnon goes to see Nestor, and they summon some friends to go and see how the watchmen on the walls are doing. Diomedes is apparently in a lion skin cloak.
Fancy!
Yeah. He's on the cover of Vogue of 1194 BC. It's very nice. They go round encouraging the troops and then huddle for a team pep talk. Nestor suggests that some brave soul might go and harass the Trojans for a bit. After all, they could find out some Trojan plans or steal something from them and raise morale in the Greek camp. Diomedes volunteers, as do several others once he's done so, because now the cool kid has said it, so now we're like, oh, I can't be left behind. Fine, I'll go. Agamemnon, of course, picks Diomedes, because he's the rock star, but allows Diomedes to take whoever he wants to go with him. However, he's worried for the safety of Menelaus if he goes with Diomedes, so Agamemnon stresses that no attention should be paid to royal blood in who he picks. By the way, during this whole interlude, he reveals that Menelaus has red hair.
Why not? Are you
Anyway.
Menelaus?
Yes.
Good.
Diomedes looks round and says, if only there was someone really disappointing and bad at fighting who I could play off against and look cool. Odysseus, do you know anyone like that?
Mean! Rude! But at least he finally gets chosen!
He doesn't say that, but he does pick Odysseus to go with him. Road trip time!
Road trip.
I really hope we use that jingle again at some point. He sings Odysseus' praises for a bit, who dryly points out he doesn't need to flatter him or play him down, seeing as they're talking to a crowd who already know who he is. Oh, Odysseus.
Odysseus.
I like this guy. They put on their weapons and armour and head out. Apparently, Athena sends a heron towards them as a good omen. Odysseus thanks her and asks for her blessing this night, as does Diomedes. Cut across to the Trojans. Hector has not been letting them rest, but instead has also called a council of war. He suggests, I have a completely novel idea. How about the Trojans send out some volunteers on a chariot into the Greek camp? What are the odds?
Yes.
A man called Dolon, who apparently has 5 sisters, which is another one of those random details the Iliad throws in there, volunteers. However, he wants to know what's in it for him. Will he be given Achilles' chariot and horses as a reward? His plan is to go to Agamemnon's ship and find out what the Greeks are planning. I assume he gets told yes because Dolon sets off. Cut back to Odysseus and Diomedes, who, I'm sure you'll be shocked by this, see a chariot coming towards them.
I think I've seen this film before.
Yes.
And I didn't like the ending.
At this point, this feels like bad writing that they bump into each other. Odysseus doesn't know exactly what this charioteer wants, but suggests to Diomedes that they let him go past a bit, and Diomedes then attack him. Once he's gone past, they follow him. Dolon thinks its fellow Trojans come to help, so he stops. However, I'm assuming at some point he realises, wait, they're carrying a banner that says, I heart Greece, because then a chase scene follows.
Ooh.
That's right, it's Fast and Furious, with chariots.
Chariot edition.
Yes. This ends when Athena gives Diomedes a speed boost to catch up.
Of course she does.
Yeah, she loves him. Everyone loves Diomedes. Diomedes throws a spear over Dolon's shoulder as a warning shot, and Dolon screeches to a halt. Well, you would. They catch him, and he asks to be ransomed. Odysseus interrogates him, asking what he's doing here, and Dolon tells him he's trying to see if the ships are as protected as before, or if there's a chance the Greeks might be about to flee. Odysseus asks where Hector is, and he finds out he's by the grave of King Ilus in the Council of War. Remember Ilus from back in our Trojan family tree days? Mm-hmm. Episode 16, for those interested. Anyway, mini promo over. The Trojan allies are sleeping, and the watch is as normal. We then get details about the allies at this point, which we do not need to care about. Moving on. Diomedes then executes Dolon. And they loot the corpse, offering the treasures up to Athena.
Oh.
Poor Dolon.
Poor Dolon.
Rest in pieces. They then decide to raid the Trojan camp. I'm glad you approve.
That was such a bad joke.
Yeah, it's one that the internet has made 1,000,000 times, but we needed it.
Yes, sure.
Anyway, they then decide to raid the Trojan camp. They head towards the nicest horses in the camp, owned by King Rhesus of the Thracians. I didn't look into this, but I really hope he's the originator of the whole Rhesus blood type thing. Presumably he was way too obsessed with blood. Diomedes starts killing sleeping people, in case you thought there were good guys in this war, and Odysseus gets the horses free. Diomedes finds himself torn as to what the most daring thing to do is. Do we kill more Trojans while they're sleeping, or do we steal Rhesus's chariot? Athena then shows up to warn him that he needs to hurry up. After all, other gods might wake the Trojans. Get out of here. Diomedes and Odysseus then yoink the chariot and fly back towards the Greek lines. Apollo is furious at this point about how much Athena's been helping them, and predictably wakes one of Rhesus's family members up.
And not that it helps.
No. The man works out what happens, and soon the camp is looking awake, but unable to do anything. Odysseus and Diomedes are welcomed back as heroes, with only the cost of 14 dead Trojans.
Ouch.
Odysseus hangs up the blood-soaked weapons of Dolon, the man they killed, and the men go and wash in the sea.
Alright.
So that ends Book 10 and the chariot shenanigans.
And our episode.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. This was quite the episode.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff happening.
It's really mixed emotions. I like the detail of Phoenix saying he used to basically have Achilles on his lap and feed him meat. It's really adorable.
Yeah, that makes me think that Phoenix might be quite big. Like, imagine if he was a little boy, like a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
A 1-year-old's about less than a meter. It's about 70 centimeter.
Sure.
How big is a phoenix to have him on his knee?
I think it's meant to be a man rather than a bird.
You told me it was a bird.
Yes, it's a bird.
Anyway,
random tangent over.
Have a great week, everyone.
Have a great week. So what did you think of that?
Is the phoenix a bird or a man?
It's a man, but I thought you knew that when I said, "Oh, can we pretend it's a bird?"
Oh, you said pretend. I thought you were telling me it's a bird and it has a wing, so I was fully imagining him talking with a freaking bird.
That's adorable. It's fine. It's fine. It all still works. You know, it works provided one thing doesn't happen.
Yes.
Provided I don't put this as a blooper at the end of the episode.
Don't!
Hang on, brief intermission. I will keep talking while Cass goes to see what's going on. So, kind of.
He likes feta cheese.
Yeah. So this ends the section of the podcast called "How do the host feel about feta cheese?" Do you want to make a jingle about it?
Sure. You can put it in the blooper.
How do the hosts feel about feta cheese?
They like it.
There we go. I was going to add some echo, but that's even better. Anyway,